Okay, so we are on Nightowlarts temp site, and we're gonna sign in. So what I've done is I've made the sign in link very hard to see over here in the corner. It's only on the home page and it's down here, and so unless you know it's there, you probably won't work with it. So I'm going to sign in now. So this checking for updates is just the concrete system kind of giving you this sort of their like home page, and you can upgrade to a new version. We're not going to bother with that now. What we are going to bother with is, I think we'll start with the gallery system. So let's go into the gallery. So we've got currently two categories in here: landscapes and characters. And what I'm going to show you is how to add a new one of these categories and how to put photos in there, and then how to tweak those photos so that they look reasonable as far as their thumbnails and stuff. So let's go think about this for a second. Now I've kind of forgotten how to do this. I think what we want to do is, well, let's start with this. We'll get the photos in there first. So to do that, you hover Dashboard and go to File Manager. So here are all of the images that are uploaded to the site right now. And so what we're going to do is just upload a few more. So upload multiple, that's probably the button you're going to want to use to do this. Let's add a few files. I'm just going to kind of grab something off your machine here. Can you say to continue? Thank you. Yeah, you do that. Okay, add a couple more. You can pick more than one at a time here. Okay, that'll, oh yeah, go ahead. Okay, we'll go with that for now. This will just be a test. Okay, so we've got those pending, so we're going to hit Start Uploads, and that's going to upload these boys. Let's try that again. Okay, so here we can set basically the properties of the files that we just uploaded in a batch. You know, we can set them all at once. Now, in this case, we don't need to set the title or description to the same thing for them all, because each one is different. But what we do want to do is add it to a set. So you can see right now we have two sets: characters and landscapes. For this, I'm just going to make a new set, and I'm going to call it tutorial. Okay, so we're going to make a tutorial page when we do this. This is not going to be a real page or anything. So, so that's the new set name. Make set public is just kind of, yeah, we want that. So update. Okay, and so that's that. Close that box. So here are our new 3 new ones. In sets, let's see, let's look at just the images that are in the tutorial set. Those 3. So that's exactly what we want. So that's good. Now let's go back to the website and we'll make the page that's going to hold these. So the way that this gallery has been set up is a little bit funky because in order to get this full screen kind of dynamically resizing business going on, I had to use a few hacks to make it work. And it looks fine, everything works fine if you're just browsing the site, but when you're in editing mode things can get a little weird. So so here's the easy way to do this. We're currently on the landscapes page, and in order to simplify making a new one of these, we're just going to copy this page and then change it to accommodate our, what we want to do. So we're going to move/copy this landscapes page. Okay, so move copy page. We're going to put it under gallery. You dragged the landscapes onto gallery. What do I wish to do? I want to copy landscapes beneath gallery. I'm just going to copy the page. Page plus children isn't relevant because we don't have any children pages of the landscapes page, so we're just copying just that one page, and so we'll hit go. Okay, so you see what it's done there. We've got our new one. It's actually called Landscapes 2. So we're actually going to edit this page now. So you can see it's italicized, so we're on that new page. So now I'm just going to click this edit button, or you can actually click that edit this page button, that blue one as well. Okay, and now we're editing it. So it looks a little funky, and this is what I was talking about. You can see when I hover different parts of this, if I click this, I can actually edit that piece of the page. And that's just kind of how this concrete system works. It's designed to allow you to edit different parts of a page just by clicking on them and putting in what you want. Well, because of this weird layout system, that's a little tricky to do with our gallery plugin that's on this page. So you can see this kind of bar is kind of showing up here. That is actually our target. So what you want to do is actually click right in here onto that bar when it's showing, and then I edit that, and that's going to actually let me edit this gallery plugin. So that's actually like the editor's representation because of how borked things are. So we're now editing this gallery on landscapes, what's called Landscapes 2 right now. So the type of gallery is pictures from file set, that's what we want, and the file set is going to be tutorial. We also want to display the title and the description. That's down here. This is this information. So that's going to be fine. So let's hit save. Okay, so there we go. We've got that, and if I take us out of editing mode, you'll see the difference without all this extra crap. So when you go, after you've made edits to a page, you hover this button again and you can publish my edits. So none of this is live until I hit publish my edits. That's to commit everything. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, and so actually I'm going to sign out as well so that we can see what this looks like to a regular user right now. So there's that. There's Landscapes 2. You can see, and then so here's our gallery, right? And so basically what the system tries to do is to make this picture as big as possible without going too far past the edges and while keeping the correct aspect ratio. So let's go back home. Oh, go ahead. There is a way, and I'll show you. Yeah, so that you have, I've built in some degree of control over that, and I'll show you that now. So let's go back here. and we'll sign in again. That's fine. Okay, so back to gallery, back to this guy. Oops. You see that kind of thing pops up. It's actually part of this bar up here, but we're going to be careful. Just click that. Okay, and now what I want to do before we go into the thumbnails and stuff is if you're on this page, I can go to Properties, click that, and here's where I change the name, this name right here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's call it Tutorial for now. Save that. And that doesn't appear to have changed it actually, does it? Maybe I have to reload it. Let's see. Oh yeah, there it goes. So that changed it. One thing you'll also notice, and this is kind of something we can fix in properties too, is look at the URL here. It still says landscapes-2. That was generated for us when we made the copy. So I'm going to go into properties and change that as well. So there was the name. I believe page paths and location. Yeah, this is the tab that lets us change this bit too. So you probably want to change both of these to essentially the same thing. Okay, saved that. Now let's go back out to the home page, and we'll go to the gallery. And there's tutorial, and if we click it, it should now take us to correct this URL. So that's good. So you can just like hand out a URL like this to somebody if you want to show a particular part of your site to them. Okay, so let's look at how to customize each of the thumbnails and the information that shows up with each of these pictures. I'm going to go to File Manager again, and let's you know, actually I forgot what that, let's go back for a sec. I want to see what this page looked like. Okay, so this guy's head is cut off, so let's fix that issue. Can you do that? So let's go back to the File Manager again. We'll find the dude with his head cut off. This guy. Click. Edit. So this actually, we probably don't need it in this case, but this is actually an image editing tool that's built into Concrete, and what you'll find this useful for is some of your images have like a white border around them or something like that, and when you actually show it on the page it doesn't look very good because it, you know, it kind of doesn't blend in like all the others. So what you can do for those is actually come in here, do that edit, and then you can drag this box around, and this is a cropping box. So you just kind of, you know, surround whatever you want and then crop it. So some of your images, you know, if they have a white border, just kind of adjust this box so it's inside the edge of the border, plus like a few extra pixels, because sometimes you'll get like JPEG artifacts right along the edge, so it's best to just kind of give it a few extra pixels, and then you can do that. So one thing to note is when you use this editor, it'll actually physically change that file on the server, that image file. So once you make a change, that's a permanent change. And if you don't like what you did, then you'll have to go re-upload the file and kind of start the process over. So that's just something to keep in mind. So that's editing. Now let's look at how you change the properties of this bad boy. Okay, so let's see, how do we edit this stuff? I think we just click here. Yeah, so click the blue title link. This allows me to change, this is the title that will actually appear on the page in the lower right to describe, you know, what's the title of this guy. So we'll call it, do you have something you want to call this one? Okay, So we'll do that. So you've typed that in, and then over here you want to click this, and now it's saved it. So let's also do the description. You can change this, obviously. This is just a temp thing, but the description might be, yeah, exactly. And you can kind of experiment with what you want to put in here. One might be paint on canvas. You could also put in something like, like that. If you want to kind of take that approach, and you can even put in other information like, Yeah, I think there is, but I don't know that it necessarily works because, when you upload these, we've got date added, right? Well, that's not representative of when you actually did the work. So, uh-oh, someone wants you to play Desert Ops. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Okay, so anyways, we set a description. It can be multiple lines, however you want to do it. We'll do 2 lines just for an example. And then, again, click this little Save Me button. Okay, that may not have actually gone into 2 lines. I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to see. So that has saved, changed the title and description, which we'll see in a second. The other thing is that thumbnail, right? So this is the option, thumbnail cropping alignment. You click this, and you can choose 1 or 2 of these boxes to change the cropping. So by default, it's going to crop from the center. And in this case, since the head is at the top, we're going to check top so that the cropping box is actually aligned to the top of the image instead. We could also check like left, and then it would get this part, right, the top left. Or you could do bottom right, or just right. Right would be centered but on the right edge, so you can essentially control where that cropping is going to happen for the thumbnail. So we'll save that value, top right. And I think that should be it. So let's close that, and now let's go back and take a look at the result. Oops. Come on. Yeah, so you see now that it cropped from the top instead of the center, so we actually got his head. One like this. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, it does look better. And it's not exactly full total control, but it's the advantage of this approach is that you can usually get it pretty darn close and not have to go into a whole process of creating your own freaking thumbnail for every single one. That's nice. If you do want that in the future, we could actually add I want to add an override thumbnail and actually upload your own thumbnail, but for now I think this will probably get you close enough. So the other thing to notice here is down here, there's our title, and there's our description in 2 lines. So, it kind of looks semi-professional. It's kind of nice. Now let's look at this one. So this one looks to me like maybe the thumbnail should be either just left or possibly top left. So why don't we try just doing left and see how that comes out. File Manager. So that's Calliope 03. So why don't you actually perform the steps this time. Yep. So to set the title, oops, oh, I don't know what happened there. Oh, okay. So yeah, go back into the file manager there. So click the blue title before you edit. There you go. Now you can change it. and then click that little button on the right when you're ready to save it. Yep. Good. Yep. Okay. And then the cropping, so yeah, I'm thinking at least left, maybe top. We can compare and contrast by saving it and then looking. Okay, so that's saved, so let's go back and take a look at the results. Usually the easiest way here is this. You'll see a return to website button up here by where the edit button is now. You can click that to get back in anytime. Oh yeah, so click that second one now. So that thumbnail, that looks like a pretty darn good thumbnail actually. That's a real nice crop. Okay, so that's that is the process of creating a new page. So let's look at a couple other parts of the site, and I'll show you how to edit those. This was actually the hard part, the gallery. This other stuff is kind of easy peasy. So we'll go to the About page. So you can see right now this is not customized at all, and so you'll want to spend some time just kind of putting in whatever you want to put in about yourself or your you know, your company. So I clicked edit, and now I'm in here and I can edit this stuff. So let's edit the main text. Edit. I just clicked edit content, and so here it is. So let's say okay, say so that's fine. Save. You can do, you know, all that kinds of header formatting and bold and all that kind of jazz that you use in Word or whatever. Continue, please. Thank you. Okay, so we changed that, and then publish my edits. Click. One thing about publishing is if you make a change and then you want to go back to a previous version, say you deleted something that you didn't mean to, you can do that here. There's this versions button will let you roll back to any previously published version, so everything is remembered in that respect. And so we made that edit, and there's the edit, right? So you can do whatever you want here. You can even put images and stuff in here. I'll show you one other thing. Edit this page. I can click this, edit, and I can choose a different image to display here. So this one I just kind of used because it's kind of a nice neutral one, but you can do this. Choose new file, pick your file, and off you go. One thing that you do have to account for if you change this image is that you should probably pre-cut your image in Photoshop to be exactly this width and exactly this height, and then this forced exact image match. Basically what it does, it guarantees that this is always laid out the right way on the page. If you try and use an image that's bigger or smaller, it can tend to make this bar taller than you want, and so it kind of messes things up. So the easiest is to use these values and then actually make your image exactly that size and upload it to the file manager. So that's that. Now let's exit edit mode. We didn't make any changes, so there's nothing to publish. Okay, now I'm going to show you the blog. So let's jump over there. So again, this is that I custom cut this 960 by 212 or whatever it was in Photoshop, and so you know you can do that yourself. So let's see. I want to add a new blog post. Let me think about that for a second. I believe to edit a blog post, you go to Dashboard here, hover that, and then Write. Under Composer, we write. So, blog entry. This is our blog composer. So we're going to say okay, this is the short description, and then so you know what? You can set the header image per blog post. I'm not sure what the thumbnail image is used for, if anything. We'll just leave these at the defaults for now. But so let's do this. Do that. Let's try adding an image. Let's get one of the fancy ones here. Let's go to the last page. That looks like this is all stuff that came with Concrete. These images are. Here we go. Okay, so let's grab this one. This one's pretty freaking awesome. So choose. There it is. So that's fine. So I've edited my blog post. Blah blah blah. I'm good. So I'm gonna go ahead and save. Actually, I'm just gonna publish. But if you save, you can work on a blog post over time and not actually publish it until it's all ready to go. And you can do that. If you do that, then it'll show up under drafts. So you can accumulate drafts there, and then when you're ready, you can fire them out. So let's publish page. Okay, so there's my blog post. It looks like I could go back into the editor, click this image, and reduce its width so that it fits, you know, put in an appropriate width. But we don't care about that right now. So if I go back to the top here, I'm going to go back to just the blog page. We're actually looking at this specific blog post right now. It's a dedicated page. But if we just go to the main blog page, you'll see that, oh, so that's what the thumbnail is, isn't it, right there? So this is kind of, you know, each blog post will show up here in this manner. And if you want to, you can actually come in and edit this blog page and click this section and edit it, and you can change the layout, you know. So maybe you want to, instead of having these thumbnails, you can kind of have like more like a newspaper style layout or whatever you want to do. You know, again, since you can roll back versions on this, you really don't have to worry about messing anything up. Just go in and fool around and look at the options that are in here and stuff. This thing really does some cool stuff. Just poke around a bit. One other thing, let's do Composer again. Let's write it. So one other thing I just wanted to mention here is this. Date posted. If I set this, if I set this to some date in the future, it won't actually post it until that date. You know what I'm saying? So if you know, a lot of like hardcore bloggers will have a bunch of posts sort of queued up to be published, and they can just schedule them to appear, you know, on successive days, so that if they're away or they don't want to deal with it more than once a month or something, you know, they can kind of pack everything in at the front. So yeah, that's good. So I think that's the basics. Do you have any specific questions right now? Okay. You know, I'm not exactly sure how you go about deleting a blog post, but I'm sure you can kind of figure it out if you just poke through the system here. Not everything will make sense to you, especially in the dashboard. There's a lot of oddball stuff over here with themes and stuff that isn't really stuff that you need to worry about right now. But in all likelihood, if you just edit that blog page, it'll let you delete them and change the layout and all that kind of good stuff real simply. Blogging is definitely one of the main features of Concrete. So that's that. I'm going to sign out now. And we're just going to go look at the site one more time from the user's point of view. So when Concrete's got that funky bar up there, it kind of screws up the whole layout. This you can actually see, my finished product, whatever you're going to do here. So there's these two buddies, nicely cut. This one, you might want to change the cropping on this. I don't know. Obviously, you want to change this down here. And you'll also want to go back through some of these, look through these. I did actually set the cropping and stuff like that on a few of these images just when I was, putting this together. But you probably want to go look through and see if they're all right. I certainly didn't set the title and description on any of these, other than like Captain Dynamite here. So you'll probably want to do that as well. Just go through and same thing applies to landscapes. And of course, if you don't want to organize these in this manner, just whatever you choose to do, you can split it up however you want. Technically, you can even put the same image into multiple sets, and then it'll appear in multiple pages of the gallery. Conceivably, you might want to do that if you have a maybe you have a page that's just 3D models, but that might also include stuff that's on the characters page or something like that, right? But that's up to you. And then let's go back. So one thing to note is when you're in the gallery, all you get is these guys, the gallery's subpages, and then back to home. So blog and about aren't here. I thought about putting them way over here on the edge, but I decided in the interest of really kind of promoting the images that you've created up front first and foremost, I really just kind of wanted to focus on that, and then if people want to get to your blog, they can come through this method here. And so that's that's that, and then if you can click through to these and get into there. So you'll notice this is can you click that? This is the actual blog post that we edited in the rich text editor, and I put the image in and all that. Back on this page, this is the short description, right? So this is just like the snippet of your blog post, and it's usually good to do a sentence or two that either introduces it, or what a lot of places do is they'll just copy the first sentence or two of the actual blog post into the short description and have that serve as the intro that way. So I think that's about it. Is that making sense? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a bit of a couple of steps are pretty non-intuitive, like how you're supposed to start a new gallery page and stuff. So you can just kind of refer back if you need to, see how those steps are performed. But also, we've got this Chrome Remote Desktop icon here. So I'll remember that next time if you get hung up on something, we can just click that and we should be able to get right in here and work on this stuff together. So I think that's it. I'm gonna stop streaming now.